This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Lech Deich Moshe podcast. We continue with Pele Yoeitz. We are on page 113 in the art scroll, day 49 of Hachzik. So we are in the topic of Achila V'Shtiyah, eating and drinking. We spoke about some big kavanas, things that are brought down mostly al pi Kabbalah. But the idea was that we are able to elevate anything with a few minutes of machshava, and before eating, thinking, I'm here to nourish myself in order that I should be able to do avodas Hashem. I should serve Hashem with more koiches, with strength. And we continue now in that same idea. One must eat with proper etiquette and decorum in a dignified manner, not like ravenous gluttons, which the Zohar Kadosh writes that they are attached to the Sitra de Esav, mamash like Esav. The Chsiv be Halitenina. Why is it Esav of all people? Esav Arasha? It seems a little intense. The answer is because Esav was the one who used the infamous words of Halitenina, pour into me now from this red stuff. And such a person is disgraceful and repugnant in Hashem's eyes. And because he was the one that acted in a very undignified and gashmistic, materialist, just about as bahamius, Halitenina, just pour me this red stuff. So because of that, eating in an undignified, lowly way is attached to the Sitra de Esav. Very interesting. A person must eat to satiate his nefesh, his soul, so that he should just enlarge his stomach with excessive indulgence. The point is to give yourself koiches for avodas Hashem, but not to be grub, as we call it. Kisham harigia risha, for there the evil awaits. And anyone who eats in such a way, builds a foundation for the Yetzer Hara. The Mekubalim write that a person who eats too much opens up and gives koiches to the Sitra Achra. And this is pretty unbelievable, but it opens up passages for the Sitra Achra to attach to this person and overwhelm him. Eating with friends, eating frivolously at voluntary feasts adds to this koich of Sitra Achra. Just like a mitzvah goes up to Shamayim and has such an effect, so the opposite has the adverse effect. Kol kavel dana ha'avera shinasis barabim alehi barabas u'misefes koich al Sitra Achra, that the negative eating and just to be malak krisai, to fill one's stomach with gashmis and taivus, is going to add koiches to the Sitra Achra. Not just the Sitra Achra, the Sitra of Esav. The Sitra, literally, what does it mean? It means the energy, the koiches of Esav, but either way, it's definitely something negative, something that we do not want to let infiltrate into our nefesh. The Mekubalim write that one who eats more than is full commits many evils. First of all, he's over on Baltashkis because he's pasha wasting food. The food can be used to nourish someone, and by you just eating it like a recycling bin, like a garbage truck, so you're destroying the food, which is an Issa Deraisa. If you think about it, you're also wasting time. So there's a lot of ashchasa. While on the one hand you can think that you're spending your time doing something, eating, it's like not the end of the world. No, but you're wasting the food, you're wasting your time, and it's frightening to think that there's going to be a din v'cheshbon on this. And if his stomach becomes upset from this eating, then there's going to be more periods of time that are wasted. So a person really has to be careful to make sure that he can free up as much time for Avodas Hashem and not for indulging in frivolous, unnecessary eating. And you think, what happens if a guy eats so much, and because of that he brings upon himself health issues, and then he ultimately dies? Then there's a tremendous avera that he cut his life short from Torah and mitzvahs that he could have done, but instead allocated that time and energy towards being a good eater instead of a good Eved of Hashem. And therefore, one who really cares for his soul is going to steer clear of excessive eating and drinking. When he's hungry, he's not going to fully eat until he's completely satiated and full, but he's going to eat a bit less, that there should be a little bit of space. And he brings down from the Ravid, the one who withdraws his hand from partaking in food that is just pleasing to his palate, just looks geschmack, for lack of better terms, that in itself is a tremendous kaparas avainis. So in this season in El, when we're trying to look for different ways to cleanse ourselves, to refocus ourselves, and to be mechaper, this is a way to do it. And chashav kilu isana chumizbech kapara, it's as if he fasted, and it is as if he brought a carbon. And this man is truly wise because it is as if he fasted. And just interesting to note, because there's different ways of doing this. There's different ways to abstain from unnecessary foods. And I once heard from a great mashkiach in our tzol, Rabbi Chaim Dov Stark, Shlita. It's a challenge. This isn't an easy mandate just to, you have a taiva to eat pizza. Okay, fine. So Hashem says, okay, you have one slice because that's going to satiate yourself. And now you come to two slices and you're just used to eating two slices. So all of a sudden now El is here and I shouldn't eat two slices of pizza. So maybe you should consult with your das Torah about that. But there was a chashav inyan that I think he brought to my attention, that he said over in the shir, which is, what about just salt? Let's say your pizza is lacking salt. So you like two slices of pizza, and you can use that little extra salt, a little extra pepper, a little extra garlic powder, whatever you like. If you give that up, that's also tremendous. That's showing Hashem that I wanted two slices, and I'm not willing to forego that geschmack that of two slices. I like two slices, okay. But do I need the extra salt? Do I need the ketchup with my fries? So there's other ways to attach ourselves to this madrego, which is a very chashuva inyan, and it's kaparas avainis. So while we don't have to necessarily decrease in the quantity, but in terms of the quality, if I want that extra salt, that ketchup, that spicy meat, whatever it is that you like. But if you're memayit in that, you can definitely, says the mashkiach, you can definitely attach and be a part of this tremendous segula of kilu isana, of like you fasted, and kapara, and the carbon, because you're ultimately showing Hashem that I'm not in it just for my grubba self, for my stomach, for my boich. I'm in it for you. And even if I like the two slices, I like two hot dogs, I like two whatever it is, or I call the fee mashahu, the fee the circumstances, the fee what I used to. But just the idea of here is that it's not necessarily in the quantity, but it's in the quality as well. So it's a little salt, a little ketchup. That's also a very special thing, and a good thing to keep in mind. One who eats for the sake of Shamayim will not be drawn after what he pleases, and he won't harm his health. He'll pursue things that are good for his body. He'll eat healthy foods, even if it's not as pleasing to his palate. A person should be wary of consuming too much intoxicating beverages. Why? Because this can be likened to a fire that consumes unto doom, and the number of her slain is huge. So this is a poetic way of writing, but the kitzer, it can bring to destruction, and we obviously don't want that to happen. It brought to too much excess drinking, brought to devastation. Woe is to them and woe is to the world, people that act this way. And Chazal have already spoken at length about the repugnance of such people who lose control of themselves due to intoxication. A Talmid Chacham has to be extra vigilant, extra wary in this respect, because the disgrace that can come of Kavod Torah, if he's a Talmid Chacham and he goes out of whack, he strays from the Shura, from the path, it's going to be a tremendous Chil Hashem, because he bears the Kavod of Torah, and now he looks like just a wreck, just a undignified, lowly person. So besides the regular wariness that everyone should be aware of, but a Talmid Chacham all the more so has to worry about the Kavod Torah that he possesses. Ki Shem Shamayim Mischal Yoda, as we just said, that the Shem Shamayim is going to be Mischal, Va'ashrei Maski Chalka Devar B'Mishpat.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.